Everyone tells you not to judge a book by its cover. You do it anyway in under a tenth of a second before your conscious mind even wakes up to what happened. That gap between what you believe about yourself and what your brain actually does is where this whole story lives. Pattern recognition. Your brain is a prediction machine, not a thinking machine. It doesn't wait for full information. It grabs a few data points and fills in the rest with guesses dressed up as facts. Here's the mechanism. Your visual cortex processes a face in milliseconds, matching it against thousands of stored patterns from your past. A slouched posture, a fast walk, a certain tone of voice. Your brain slots it into a category before you've consciously registered a single detail. It feels like an observation. It's actually retrieval. Here's the thing. You're not seeing the person in front of you. You're seeing a memory wearing their face. That means half your read on someone is really a read on your own history. The implication is uncomfortable. Your judgment says as much about you as it does about them. It feels like insight. It's actually a flashback with better lighting. Threat detection judging fast used to keep you alive. Your brain evolved to sort everything into safe or dangerous almost instantly, because hesitation in the wrong moment used to mean death. The amygdala fires before the prefrontal cortex even gets the memo. A loud noise, a stranger's sudden movement, an unfamiliar face in a dark alley, your body reacts first, chemically, with a spike in cortisol and adrenaline, and your mind writes the justification afterward. You don't decide someone is dangerous, you feel it, then explain it. Here's where it gets interesting. That ancient alarm system can't tell the difference between an actual threat and something merely unfamiliar. To your amygdala, different can register as dangerous. So, the instinct built to protect you from lions now quietly flags people just for looking, sounding, or living differently than you. It kept your ancestors alive. Now it just keeps you afraid. Cognitive shortcuts. A heuristic is a mental shortcut, a rule of thumb your brain uses instead of doing the math every single time. Without them, you'd freeze under the weight of 1,000 daily decisions. Your brain runs on limited energy, so it hunts for shortcuts wherever it can. Someone dresses well, so you assume competence. Someone stumbles over words, so you assume low intelligence. None of that is verified. It's inferred, instantly, and then treated as evidence rather than guesswork. Here's the part most people don't sit with. These shortcuts don't feel like guessing. They feel like certainty. Your brain hides the shortcut and shows you only the conclusion. So you walk around trusting snap judgments with the same confidence you'd give a fact you personally verified. It saves you time. It costs you accuracy, and you never even notice the trade. Thin slicing. Thin slicing is your ability to make an accurate feeling judgment from a tiny slice of information, a few seconds of behavior, a glance, a handshake. Studies show people rate a teacher's effectiveness from a silent 2-second video clip almost the same way students rate them after a full semester. Your brain extrapolates a whole personality from a sliver of data, weighting posture, micro-expressions, and tone far more than the actual content of what someone says. Here's the uncomfortable angle. Thin slicing is sometimes eerily accurate, which is exactly why you trust it, even when it's wrong. One hit reinforces 100 misses you never bothered to check. That means your confidence in a snap read has nothing to do with how reliable it actually is. A few seconds can build a verdict. Fixing that verdict can take years. Tribalism in-group bias is your brain's automatic preference for people it codes as one of us over people it codes as other. This sorting happens before you've exchanged a single word. Your brain uses cheap signals, accent, clothing, team logos, skin tone, slang, to slot people into us or them in a fraction of a second. Once that sorting happens, your brain releases more empathy-related activity for the in-group and more suspicion for the out-group. It's not really about the individual anymore. It's about the tribe your brain assigned them to. Here's the thing. This circuitry doesn't care if the group is meaningful. Studies show people show favoritism to strangers on a coin flip team assignment, invented on the spot, 5 minutes earlier. Which means most of your gut feeling about strangers is actually loyalty to a group that barely exists. You think you're judging a person. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is your brain's habit of hunting for information that agrees with what you already believe and quietly ignoring what doesn't. Once you form a snap judgment, your brain doesn't stay neutral. It starts working for the verdict, not against it. You notice the 3 times a decision confirmed your first read on someone, and forget the 7 times it didn't. Your memory literally reshapes itself to protect the story you already told yourself. Here's where it gets interesting. This isn't dishonesty. It happens below conscious awareness, which makes it far more dangerous than lying. You genuinely believe you're being fair. The implication: the longer you hold a snap judgment, the more evidence you'll accumulate for it, whether or not it was ever true. It feels like proof piling up. It's actually a trap closing shut. Emotional contagion is the way you catch other people's emotional states, almost like a virus, without either of you saying a word. Mirror neurons in your brain fire both when you perform an action and when you watch someone else perform it. The same circuitry activates whether you're tense or you're simply near someone who is. Walk into a room where 2 people just argued, and your body reads the tension in the air before anyone tells you what happened. Your judgment of that room forms in seconds, powered entirely by ambient emotion, not facts. Here's the part most people miss. You'll swear your judgment came from logic. It actually came from your nervous system syncing with someone else's mood. That means the vibe you trust so much is often borrowed, not earned. You call it intuition. It's really just someone else's mood, wearing your voice. Social survival status. Judgment is your brain's constant low-hum tracking of where everyone ranks. Who has power? Who has none? Who's worth impressing and who isn't? For most of human history, misjudging status could cost you resources, alliances, even your life. So your brain evolved to calculate social rank automatically. Posture, eye contact, tone, who speaks first in a group. This calculation runs continuously in the background, coloring every interaction with an invisible scorecard you never consciously requested. Here's the uncomfortable truth. This is why you soften your opinions around people you rank as above you and sharpen them around people you rank below. Your judgment isn't fixed. It bends to hierarchy in real time. So fairness, the thing you pride yourself on, is quietly rationed by rank. You think you treat people equally. Your nervous system disagrees. Every one of these systems evolved to protect you, and every one of them now runs on autopilot in a world they were never built for. You can't switch off the speed, but you can learn to notice the gap between the verdict your brain hands you in a tenth of a second and the truth that actually takes time to see. The real question isn't whether you'll keep judging fast. You will, every single day, whether you like it or not. The question is whether you'll ever go back and check your work.